All right, so long time no record. Last week, I'm going to blame Christmas for not getting much recording done. Partially, it was just kind of I forgot, and partially it was just wasn't feeling great with Christmas. Also, the other thing with that is I ordered a few new paints. I ordered a decent dark green because. Where is it? I put it behind this box. This green, the one I was using, is incredibly dingy and horrible and I don't like it. So I decided to get a decent dark green, and I got a decent light green so I'm not mixing a thing. I mean, I think these guys, their light green, I think is okay. If you can see it, which I think you can, if you actually look at them. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can. Yeah. On the collars and cuffs and the head, the band on the hat. And that was a mix of, I think, the submarine yellow and the royal blue, which is much better in general than the dark Prussian blue. The weird thing is, these army painter colours, they don't dry this colour. This colour is this jacket. And they don't look. This paint looks a lot lighter than that. I'm not sure I trust some of the Vallejo paints because they come out a lot. They dry a different color to the color that you see. So these guys are darker. The green was a lot darker, so that's why. Sorry, these guys can go now. So I got these. I also got, because I've heard a few good things about it. Not just in the quite a bit. In the, a few people comment, or there's a few comments. I don't keep a track of who writes what. I've read a few comments about Agaric's Earthshade, and I have heard positive things about it. I was thinking of trying it out on the Jagers, but I'm not sure how good it's going to look over the green. So yeah, we'll put you back. Oops. And I probably shouldn't punch the camera. So I was waiting for those to arrive, and they kind of arrived later than, like, I think I'd ordered them earlier in the week, but I think with Christmas and everything, they didn't come when I was expecting them. So yes, not much. I actually can't remember what I've done since the last one, because that was the week before. I didn't show any of my models, so there's like 3 weeks of painting to cover. I think I did the flesh. I think that's new, and the white bits. So these little plumes, and his gloves and crossbelt. Also, our elderly gentleman Friedrich von Ottendorf, who is the Hanoverian commander, got done. These guys, I think they just need a touch up of black now. If I get... Yeah, you can see some points where the white is kind of overspelled from the straps. I used the white because I already had the white. Actually, he looks all right. Actually, I could do the some of the other bits, touching up in brown and metal for the various kind of back bits on the backpack. I think we can probably get them in. I'd like to touch up. There's also a few points. I think this gentleman has got some of the metal coming through behind the primer, so I'm going to have to retouch him up anyway with the black. And then I'm going to do the brown for his leather on his horse. I've got the yellow because he needs that on his hat to match our Hanoverian forces. And then I'd say that was pretty much done. So I might then do a small battle of these guys. But then I've got this horde to do. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might just do a load of like red and grey and just batch paint, which means that next week is going to be really boring if I show you just hobby stuff. So I might do the battle just so there's a bit more material. These guys have been slowly touched up. I used the whites for their gloves. He's got his plume and his crossbelt. Duncan Munro. So, I was thinking, I think a few people have suggested Ian Wellard. Ian wasn't really a common name until 20th century, I looked up. But it does come from the Gaelic for John. So he's going to be John Wellard. Duncan Munro, he's got his, what are they called, gloves. They've now been painted in white as well. I've not done his kind of like this sash across, because I want to try and do that in a tartan, and I'm slightly terrified of doing tartan. So I don't know why I want to do it. But I mean, I'll push myself, try and do more bits and pieces. So that's what we've got. We've got the Jagers, the Hanoverian Jagers almost done. Hanoverian officers pretty much done. The Royal Artillery down here with William Fawkes almost doing quite well. And then the unpainted Horde. Oh dear. Now I have actually been working on kind of like or thinking about what the other armies are going to have in them. Obviously, the French are somewhat constricted by the fact that we've got there, and also I've already bought some stuff for them, and the Russians, and I think there's some Prussian artillery and some Austrian Jagers back there. And then once I've done that, I'm going to be doing some more British, which I've also bought. A couple of boxes of Highlanders, some cavalry, and another artillery piece. That's actually one thing I was thinking about. Originally, I was thinking one thing they suggest about the artillery is you can do them as 2 artillery pieces for 1 battery, and that allows you to have half batteries if you want to. But then some other places suggest just doing 1 artillery piece for an artillery battery. So I bought that artillery piece when I was originally planning on going for the two bases for 1 battery. Now I might not do that just because that means I get more artillery, more artillery for me buck. Because I get, because this, he came with the Waterloo set. He was £12, and that's £12 for 1 instead of £24 for a full battery. Some places you can get them £9. I think Perry artillery is normally £9.50, or you can get it for £9. So yeah, I was actually going to go over this again. I don't know why I've kept the box. I just have. So this is the infantry Napoleonic, British infantry Napoleonic stuff we got. So let's try and line up the colours. So we got the red, very important. We got the London Grey, also quite important. We got the buff. I wouldn't say that was hugely important. It was quite useful for the backpacks, but I mean, I've done white for the Hanoverians. I think that's a white. Then you've got the brass. Now the brass they say is good for the shako covers, for the shako plate. The Waterloo set don't have covered shakos, so there isn't a shako paint to have, shako plate to have. Now I've used it on these guys for their shako plate, so that's fine, but it's not overly useful. Then you got oily steel. So the oily steel is quite good. It gives you the parts for the musket. And then you get this horrible murky green that is meant to be the colour, it's just a facing colour. But I think this kind of dark green would have been much, much better. And then they give you the very dark, and I've misplaced it, the dark Prussian blue, which is not this colour, it is actually much closer to this very dark blue. And again, the facings are more likely to be this kind of blue. Based on the various pictures I've seen of people with blue, that seems to be a much closer blue to the facings. So let's take out the dark blue, because you don't use that for anything else. That's rubbish. That is just a terrible paint colour for this period. And then you're left with, of the 8 paints, you've got 6. Now the buff we can probably drop, potentially. So that's 5. One noted absence, of course, is flesh. So we'll suggest that's probably a better pick. And brown. For some reason, despite being armed with wooden muskets with wooden stocks, you don't get a brown. So there's 2. This is just like... So, okay, so what are we on? 5, 6, 7. So there's one colour left. So from here, we haven't got a black. I had to buy that I had to buy the black separately. There's another white. What else have I got up here? That's a brown. That's another metal. Red. We haven't got yellow, but yellow's not so important. So you could then pick. You could throw another one in. Maybe we will throw in a yellow, because then that helps you with the Hanoverians as well. I think that would be a much better combination, because it very roughly gives you everything you need, I think. Yeah, I think that would be a better set. Basically, don't buy this set unless you've already got a lot of the colours, because you need flesh and you need brown. I have actually thrown the other one away, the other one I got, which is a Warlord set. And my response to that would be, assuming I'm not horribly wrong about the army painter, and let's be honest, that's entirely possible. The army painter quick shade, which I still have the tin of. If I'm not horribly wrong with that, and I do accept the possibility that I am, then I would say that set probably isn't that good either. It's got some good colours in it. I mean, I do like the royal blue is very nice, I must say. And it gives you the flesh colour, but you're painting for this quick shade, and I still don't know. Like, I'm still worried I got it wrong, because it just came out shiny, and it didn't really. I should just throw that box away. And it didn't come out that well, so I'm personally worried that I've messed up, because it's me, and that's not outside the realms of possibility. But I think it might be one of those cases that every paint set has its problems, and it's not just kind of, oh, this is a rubber. Oh, and actually, I had a look. This is a anti-shine matte varnish, so I assume that's what you're meant to do after the quick shade. But when the quick shades only seems to make your guys shiny, it seems a bit odd to then give you something to take that away. So yes, but it might, yeah, as I was saying, it might just be a case with the with all these paint sets, is that actually you're always going to get stuff that isn't as good, and you've got to kind of pick what you want. I think, actually, getting this box that I threw on the floor again, I mean, it does give you the red and the grey that you need. It does give you a couple of metals, and it gives you a white. Which are kind of your basic. The colours the thing is, the colours you need most: red, grey, flesh, white. Those are probably the 4 main colours you would need. And probably a black. So you've got your basic colour, so that's touching up things that are meant to stay black. So shako, backpack. That you can use for crossbelts and the backpacks, the backpack straps like I've done with the Hanoverians. Trousers, red coat, flesh. At your most basic, those are your 5 colours. Of these 5 colours, those are the only 3 in this set. So I would, if you don't mind getting the quick shade, I would very much suggest I'd very much suggest the Warlord basic set. I think Warlord like starter set or something, rather than this set. I don't think this is. I don't want to use the phrase fit for purpose, because that's a bit mean. It's not fit for purpose because that's a little bit mean. But it does feel like with the dark green and the dark blue that some people were like, oh, we don't sell these paints that much. Let's throw them in this paint set. And I now have 2 paint. Well, I might still use the dark Prussian blue, because I assume for the Prussians, for one thing. But the green I can't quite see myself using for this period. It seems more of a kind of a drab for World War II camouflage kind of colour. Whereas I would argue this is the Napoleonic War is probably the last heraldic war. So with all the heraldry and whatnot of the different coloured uniforms, we've got red coats over there for the British and the Hanoverians. We've got the dark blue of the Royal Artillery, and we've got the dark green for the Jagers. Like different countries have different colours. The Russians have a light green colour. The Austrians are mainly white. The Hungarians within that unit have blue trousers with their white jackets. The Austrian Grenzer wore brown shirts, brown jackets. They wore predominantly brown because they were the border patrol basically. And I think there's loads. You want bright colours, and I think I just really hate this green. So I'll get off that kind of soapbox and move on. So yes, I think next week these guys should be finished. So I'll probably we'll have a battle next week, and then hopefully I'll get a lot of these guys with red and grey, and they'll be pretty much sorted. For the main colours, and then it will just be doing all the kind of fiddly bits. Yellow for the Hanoverians, brown for the muskets. That's not the steel. Steel for the other parts of the muskets. Then the straps. And actually, once you say things like that, that's pretty much it, really. And then it's working on these two officers. So I can see the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to these guys. And then we'll move on to the French. And I think what I'll do is, having this force, that'll do me quite well. I can then do, I'm going to do one French infantry, and I'm going to put it against a British infantry. Or a Hanoverian infantry, or there's two battles for you, or even there's two battles for you, while I do, although I might actually just get a single brigade sorted, of the two line, and then they can face a brigade of two line of British or Hanoverian. I've got two Hanoverian battalions, with a commander, and I'm sure I've got some French officers in this mess somewhere. Let's just hope no one comes to visit and wants to eat on the dining table. So there we go. So then plans for the next however long that takes. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching.